I started getting into silver when I was like 1964, when I saw that copper tinge go around the dime. So I bought my first precious metal at 10 cents, because I started changing the copper dimes in for real dimes. And then I was buying quarters and then $50. And I still have that bag until my mother spent it. And then I was flying in Vietnam in 1972, the year Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And I flew behind enemy lines in Vietnam to a gold mine. I was reading the maps, as a helicopter pilot, and said, oh, they have gold here. And so I went behind enemy lines to talk to this gold dealer. It was a little tiny Vietnamese woman with red teeth. And I said, she wanted, I think it was at $50 approximately. Gold had floated from 35 to 50 after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. I tried to get a discount. You don't do that, I know you're laughing at that one. You get a discount from a gold dealer? That's not heard of. And she told me this one word, spot. Que pasa? What is spot? But ever since then, and then I went over to Hong Kong. I bought my first Krugerrand. This is an important point for many people to understand about silver and gold. I bought that Krugerrand in Hong Kong in 1974. I had to smuggle it in. And I want you guys to hear this, because Rick will understand where I'm going with this thing. They made me smuggle it in because it was confiscated, I think in 1933 or something. And today, because of what Nixon did and the Fed and all this stuff, what Charlie Munger, who's Buffett's partner, is talking about is hyperinflation. And I think that's why the why is why you'd better start buying some gold and silver or uranium or copper, getting into things that what Jim Rickards called things that last. Every time the price of gold goes down or silver goes down, I'm happy because I buy more. Today I have tons of gold and silver because I have gold mines and I have silver mines. Time gold drops, and as you know, I suspect gold and silver are manipulated. JP Morgan was just nailed for manipulating the futures price of gold and silver. Just manipulated. But they're keeping the price low so the smart money can buy more of it. So Jim Rickards, is a friend of mine. He says pretty soon you're going to wish you had bought more of it because you won't be able to touch gold or silver. And so every time they manipulate the price lower, like they do the stock market and all the price higher, it's a good buying time for me. But you have to know what you're doing, if you know what I mean.
Why do you think he says you won't be able to touch gold and silver?
Because he's calling for $15,000 an ounce gold. And he's much smarter than I am academically.
But what do you think gets us there?
Well, I don't really care because I just want more of it. What Buffett says, never ask an insurance salesman if you need more insurance. Never ask a gold nut like me, do you need more gold or silver? Because every time they drop the price, I'm very happy. A lot of the people giving financial advice, all they know is a bull market.
Yeah.
You see, they were born, just prior to 2008. They're now probably, let's say, 25 years old. They're financial planners, real estate brokers. And all they know is the S&P keeps going up. Don't fight the Fed. I mean, they're idiots. But unfortunately, without financial education in our schools, you can't blame them. But they don't know what a bear market looks like. And they don't know what inflation looks like because inflation has made them rich. Because the Fed, what do they say? 40% of all money was printed in the last 2 years or something, some stuff like that. I don't know if it's true or not. But the M2, the money supply is so huge today because they're trying to prevent the balloon from collapsing. They're desperate.
Yeah.
So when you take financial advice, be careful on their age. You and I have the wisdom, I'd rather be 25 years old, but there's something, I just turned 75. And there's something good about being 75. At least you've been screwed enough times you can wake up.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like you said, most of the financial planners have never actually been through a bear market. They've never experienced or even been alive to remember what inflation was like or what some of the ramifications are for it. I think I saw you say somewhere that most Americans don't have more than $1,000 to their name. And when you start inflating that, then that can become half of that. And then you've got most of the American public that are basically become broke. So this is something that can be really debilitating, that can just crush people that are already living on the edge because they've been encouraged to rack up debt, etc. So is this something people need to be very concerned about? And what can they do about upcoming inflation and even this upcoming crash?
Well, I think why is there inflation is they're trying to prevent the collapse. And Jim Rickards, he's one of the smartest guys I know. He says, prepare, we're going to collapse. And as people don't understand, most 98% don't understand this. The dollar is a reserve currency of the world, which came about in 1944 with the Bretton Woods Agreement. We can just keep printing money. But the rest of the world is collapsing right now. And everybody depends upon the US printing. But that's why I watch China. And when Evergrande came down in 2021, the biggest real estate collapse in history, bigger than 2008. And all of a sudden, they lock people down with COVID. I've seen this story before because it happened in 2019. They're desperate, Brian. They're desperate. They're looking for anything that can stop this thing. But when, every time they said to me, don't fight the Fed, I'm saying, don't trust the Fed was my stay. Why would I trust those SOBs? They're a central bank system. The Rothschilds and all those guys controlled them. The richest families in the world control the central banks. And you said you pull the curtain aside. It's like the story of the Wizard of Oz. You pull the curtain aside. There's a little guy back there called the Fed chairman trying to keep the economy from collapsing on them. But they're going to keep printing and printing and printing until the thing is destroyed. That's my prediction.
And is it going to, are they backed into a corner now? Is it getting to a point where they just can't keep printing to save it? And is that what we're seeing, all of these little cracks in the system from inflation to these hikes? And QE was working for a couple of years. Is this the beginning of the end of that system being able to keep printing to save us?
Well, there's people much smarter than me who say that. I've been saying that for years, but I was the whack job or the Chicken Little on the outside, some whack job I don't have a degree in finance. I have what my degree is in?
What?
Oil. So I went to U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York, and this is in 65 to 69, and I studied oil. So when Biden, as soon as that communist, you guys have this guy here, Boris.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson. Well, we have Boris Biden. It can't get much worse than this.
Yeah. What's your take on President Biden?
He's a communist.